Okay, how are you doing?
Now
Fine,
being
sir.
recorded. This call is now being recorded.
Great. Fantastic. Okay, Faiz Abbas, can you please talk something and come on the camera? Jyoti AM, can you please? Yes, great. Faiz, how are you doing? Unmute, my dear child. Yeah, now speak.
Yeah, I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Right, can I see some more faces? Shantala, Shanta. Can we start? It is already 5:05. Okay. So before we start,
So it is started.
yeah, great. So let us have a very brief recap of yesterday. Can someone tell me what all we did discuss yesterday? What was yesterday's topic and what all did we discuss? In a brief, मोटा मोटा तौर पे. Yes, Chandrakala, as usual, you are the only speaker. Amit, unmute. All of you, please unmute.
Yes, sir.
Please unmute. All of you, please unmute yourself. Try to speak out. The first thing is that I am not able to see any of you other than Chandrakala and Amit. Right? If you mute, then I will have the impression that none of you are here. Good, Faiz. Okay. Were you there yesterday, Faiz?
No, sir, I wasn't there.
You wasn't there. Okay, no issues. Yesterday it was. Now you will have the recap of it for the benefit of those who are not there yesterday. I think even Jyoti was not there yesterday, if I'm right. Is that so, Jyoti? Are you there? Okay. Who can tell? Amit and
Yes,
Chandrakala.
sir.
Yeah. What did we discuss yesterday? I don't say what did we learn. What did we discuss yesterday?
Sir,
Yeah.
Sir, when
sir, what
someone,
we,
Yes, Yuvraj. Good. Can you come on camera, Yuvraj?
a second, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good. Very good. Beautiful. Yeah. Tell me,
Sir,
Yuvraj.
when yesterday, when someone asked to introduce, it must be three C's,
Yeah.
creative,
Very.
crisp, and
Yeah.
clear, sir.
Clear. Very
And
good.
then,
Beautiful.
and then about some hackings
Yes.
in learning, speaking,
Yeah.
reading, and writing, sir.
Very good. Great. Lovely, Yuvraj. Right? So, in brief, yesterday we learned how to speak or how to introduce ourselves. Whenever we speak, we should follow the three C's. What are those three C's? Creative,
Creative,
crisp,
crisp, and
Crisp.
clear.
and clear.
Clear.
Right? And then we learned about the tips of taking all the four verticals or the four streams of the language, that is LSRW, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing.
Right.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Did we learn all these things yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What else did we learn? We learned about, yeah,
Yes, there will be two categories. If you want to go for job, it will be generic type. If you go for academics, it will be academic type.
yeah,
Then, we learned skills, two types of skills. Receptive means reading and listening.
yeah.
Then productive means speaking and writing.
Very good. Beautiful. Yesterday we learned the two concepts of the any foreign language test, that is English language test. That is, the first thing is the academic and the generic, right? Academic is for those who wants to go abroad for higher studies, and generic is for those who want to go abroad on job, right? Then we learned about the two strategies of this LSRW, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing. That is, the first one was productive and receptive, right? Receptive is listening and reading, means by which we receive some knowledge or we receive some information. And the productive means we produce some knowledge or we produce some information to others. That is speaking and writing. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the brief description of yesterday what we have discussed and we understood. Does anyone has any queries still before we get on to today's topic?
Sir, can you send the recording of yesterday's?
That I'll have to check with the recordings. We will see if it can be given because we are planning about that. We will see. We will let you know about the recordings. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Great. Anything else? Any one of you have any clarifications so that we can move forward fast? Shall we move ahead? Are we all ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Yesterday, the last thing, what did we end with?
Let's begin.
Let's begin. So today, we will start the day with what line?
In association with.
Nay, today we will start the day with what line? Which line? The line what we ended yesterday. That is, let us begin. Okay? Let us begin today. So today's session would be about the IELTS. So in the IELTS, we are welcoming you all the students for the day one of the learning. Right? It is day one of IELTS learning. Yesterday it was almost an introduction to IELTS, or we can say it as an orientation to IELTS. Right? So in day one, do you have any idea what we are going to learn? Which stream or which vertical or which skill we are going to learn on day one? Reading, writing, speaking, listening. What is that? Simply, don't worry, don't think. Only 4 are there. Out of 4, any one will be right. If 4 people tell all one each, one thing will be right. Don't worry. How do you choose the right answers? Right?
It's writing, sir.
Writing. Beautiful, Yuvraj. Great. So Yuvraj wants it to be writing. So all of us will go with writing. Do we? Or shall we?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Agreed upon. So we will go with writing skills. Done? Okay, guys, let us see how we can improve our writing skills and what are the things that are to be given attention in the writing skills in connect with the IELTS. It need not be for IELTS, but we are taking up the IELTS. I am teaching you with the concept of IELTS test. Otherwise, it is also a good for your day-to-day life conversation or communication. Okay? Fantastic. So, as I had already told you yesterday, the writing skills will be divided into two tasks. The writing skill will be divided into two tasks. That is, the first task is called as the task 1 and the second one is the task 2. Task 1 will be, if it is for academic, then it will be about writing a letter or describing some pictorial graphs or so that will be given to you with a certain data will be provided to you. You have to describe about the given data. There might be comparisons, there might be many other things, or they might ask you to describe the picture or whatsoever it may be of that sort, but they will be connected to education background only if it is academic. If the same thing is for the generic category, that means if you have to go abroad on a job, then the content will be different. That's it. It will be reflecting towards the job orientation factors. Then task 2. Okay. So before I tell you about task 2, task 1 will be, you will have to write it for not less than. Make it an underline, highlight it, not less than or minimum, not less than or minimum 150 words, 150 words. And task 2 will be an essay writing. So when you get into the essay writing, as I was telling you yesterday, you have to write that again, make a point of it, make a note of it. It should be not less than the essay writing, that is task 2 for both the categories, whether it is academic or generic, it should not be less than 250 words. How much? 250 words. Right? Okay. Then, in the IELTS task 1, what are all the variations and the descriptions of visual informations with possible variations? There are 7 variants that would be given to you or would be asked to write on. That is task 1. That means you have to describe about the given variant or the given information in not less than 150 words. So how do you count the 150 words? All the words will be counted, including the articles. To score a better band, note down this tip. To score a better band, you should practice and learn more of synonyms and antonyms. You should learn more of synonyms and antonyms. I will give you a small tip where even the British councils also will not give you, or even any IELTS recognized institutions also will not give you. They will just tell you, don't worry, there is no negative marking. They will just tell you, don't worry, there is no negative marking. You be bindas. That's what they tell. But the trick here, the tip one has to keep in mind is that though there is no negative marking, there is adverse effect in the band or in the scoring or in the marking system, especially when it comes to writing skills. Suppose you have written, you can write up to plus 15%. 10 to 15% words can be used extra. That means if you have written for 150 words, task 1, you can write it somewhere between 165 to 175 words you can use. That is the advantage given to the students. Same way in task 2 also. You can write it up to 275 to 300 words. Right? So, not 300 words, 265 to 275 words. You can write it. But what happens? Why should we do that? I'll tell you. The trick here to score a better band is, in case if you have repeated a word, so words should not be repeated other than certain verbs, certain nouns, and certain, of course, articles. There are no synonyms for articles. I'll let you know how to use the articles, what is article, when it is used, how it is used, all these things tricks I will let you know. You should use the synonyms for rest of the words. Say for example, you are all students, you have been given a description about an educational institution. Rightly, like yesterday I was saying about your college or about your institution, right? Oxford University in Bangalore. If you are going to write, and they would have given you the visual descriptions. In 2010, this many was there, 2015, this many were there, 2020, this many was there, and 2021, this many admissions happened, and this many got through with the result. If that description is given to, you have to write that in 150 words. When it is concerned with the educational institution, if you write, repeat the word students, 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 students 10 times. If you repeat the word students or the institution or the college, this way, if you repeat these words, which have synonyms. Synonyms, matlab, samanantar pad. Amit. अमित,
Yes, sir.
पर्याय पद या समानांतर पद जो बोलते हैं हिंदी में, सिनोनिम्स, जो सेम मीनिंग देते हैं.
Yes, sir. Similar.
Similar words. Okay? Similar meaning words. You have to use that. For students, you can use learners, pupil, right? All these things. For institution, you can say college, educational institution, education center, institution. This way, you have to use different words in different circumstances or in the different paragraphs when you are writing. Suppose if you repeat these combined words, totally it comes to 20 words, whatever you have repeated. If it comes to 20 words, even if you have written 170 words, you will lose marks for repeating the words 20 times.
Yes, sir.
You will lose marks for repeating those words 20 times, and those 20 words will be deducted from the total words count that you have written. Suppose if you have written 170 words in the task 1 and you have repeated 20 times, so 170 minus 20 repetitions, it will come and sit at 150. There is the advantage where you will fulfill the required instruction, that is not less than 150 words. Suppose if you have written only 165 words, then you will be counted for 145 words. First thing, you have lost your percentage of marks for repeating the word 20 times. Second thing, you will lose the marks for underwriting. That means not completing the complete given instruction of 150 words, because the total comes and sits at 145. This is the very minute thing, but very dangerous thing that one has to keep in mind while taking up the exams, whether it is IELTS or TOEFL or PTE, even GRE also same. Even GRE also same. So if you are writing an essay, be careful, be vigilant, be attentive, try to use maximum synonyms. Does that make clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then, what are those pictorials or the visuals that would be given? Don't worry, Chandrakala, when I give you the test, you will see everything in a bold and clear pattern. Okay? I'm just showing you the visuals, the 7 variants, what I told you in the previous slide, right? Here, I have told you, right? Of visuals information, 7 possible variants. What are those 7 possible variants could be? How could they give you the task 1? And what all the things they would mostly ask you to write? This is what I am giving you the thing. So, in the first thing is called as the line graph. These things are known as the line graph. Can you see the graph here? Red line, blue line, green line, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these line graphs, they indicate certain things. Okay. They indicate certain factors. They indicate certain datas over here. Now what you do is, you see, here they have given the sale of vehicles, right? It is sale of vehicles. This is the vehicles that has been sold during the years. They have given here at the 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12. So they have given it for 6 years, right? Different countries and different parts of the world. So what is the forecast? Forecast means what is the summary? What is the net summary of the sales of vehicles during those years? This is what you have to check. You see, if you take this blue line that belongs to Western Europe 1, okay, it started with a peak and started declining. By the time it came to 2011, it totally dipped. You see, I am using 2 words here, synonyms. Make note of it. Declining. In the end, I said dipped. These are the synonyms. Declining, decreasing, dipping. That means where the variation is coming from top to bottom. Getting my point? Am I clear to all of you? Or am I understandable to all of you? Or am I going fast?
No, sir, normal.
What about others other than Chandrakala and Amit?
Yes, sir, it's normal, sir.
It's normal. All of you can understand?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Great.
Yes, sir.
So then what happens? In 2011, you see the tip here. You have to be very careful when you look at this visualize. So you see, when you take one graph of the light blue color, the tip where it ends, it is pointing at 2011. So in 2011, it has dipped from 71.4% to 65.8%. But gradually towards 2012, it started picked up the sales. You could see an increment in the sales figures, right? So somewhere it was between 12 and 14. Now it started picking up at 14. So the same way when we take it to North America 1, right? It started dipping. Okay. So from 2007 to 2009, it was in a decremental process. Then it gradually picked up the sales, and by 2010, it got stabilized. It got stabilized from 2010 to 2012 because you can see the straight line over there. This is how you have to write, explain the graphs. Am I clear? The same thing if you look at China, is it in the declining mode or escalating mode? The red one, the red line is of China.
Increasing mode.
Increasing, right? So so you have to compare now with the other countries. So when you say why, in the same way China compared to other nations of the globe, it has an escalation of sales, or it had an increment in the sales continuously from 2007, where it stood at 8 vehicles, and it rose up to almost 18 vehicles or 17 vehicles in the year 2012. This is how you explain about the task 1. But how will you compare India now? Can someone try and give a try for this? India. In the last line.
India,
ना घर का है ना घाट का.
sir, some increasing and then after parallel.
Yeah, then after that it's not parallel. Then from almost 2009 to
Yes, sir.
2012, you see, you can see the increment here, and then it getting
Yes, sir. Yes.
straightening up, isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
from 2009 to 2012, the number of sales of the vehicles were almost static. It had no decrement or increment. It neither dipped nor elevated nor picked up. There was no major elevation in the scales of sale of vehicles. This is how you put it. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Everyone could understand how to describe a line graph?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is graph for task 1. Then what would be of the second visualization or the second variant in this is about the bar charts. This is also known as bar graph also we say it in India, we tell it as bar graph, but exactly it is the bar chart. So when you see the thing, it is about the employment by some income group. They have given which group. So the heading of the topic, this becomes the topic of the writing, employment by income group. So they have given you certain instructions over here, and what does each color represents. The legend are given here, and based on this you will describe the same thing like we did it for the line graph. In the same way we have to explain at what time how the things happened, employment was increasing or decreasing. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So in the left hand side you can see the countries. So which country, how much employment was there So in the different colors, you see 2009. So different color mentions the different years here. You have to check each and everything here. Okay, in the left hand side, you can see the countries and what does each color represents. So the color represents, the maroon color represents 2009. What was the total thing? 131. So 2014, 181. So the next, like that, every color represents what is the increase or what is the thing. You see, it is moderately poor. That means the poor increment, and they are given what was the increment or decrement. Then nearly poor. Then comes developing in the middle. Developing means it is picking up. The employment is picking up. The chances of getting employment was more. Right? And the blue, it shows the developed in the middle. Means it almost got, almost every person started to get a job. So this is about the employment. Then this, all of you know pie chart. All of us use it normally. Right? In the same way here, the topic is the recipients of Russian natural gas exports. So when Russia was exporting the natural gas, who are all the countries? You see, you can see the countries here and what percentage of export Russia did to these countries. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So you have to explain this in brief. Then the multiple charts. So it is about Hispanic America. It is about the country, a particular state or a particular country. Then, so they have given different things with different pictorial charts, right? So when you check with this, how was the growth of Mexican American population? Then it is American facial oblique ethnic composition. So different things about a country, how it got improved or how it got decreased. About that, they would have given. It can be of different things. Here it is about ethics. Here it is about the Mexican Americans. And then the third is the population wise. Then the fourth one is ethnic population by origin. Origin means from their birthplace to which place. Say for example, if I have to tell you one simple example, how many of you have heard the name of Sundar Pichai?
CEO of Google.
Oh, very good. What is that? Matapati Ashwini. Good. He is the CEO of
Google.
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 Okay, fine. Where is he residing? Where is he? Is he in India, or he is in the US, or he is in the UK, or he is in Germany? Where is he?
Don't know, sir.
Don't know, sir. Very good answer. So he lives in the United States. He lives in the United States. He has the citizenship of United States. So he is an American because he has the citizenship of US. He is called as the American. Now, what is his origin? To which country does he belong basically?
India.
To which country he belongs to?
India, sir.
India. Okay, in India, which state?
Chennai.
Chennai. Which state I asked you? Right, Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu.
Okay. So his origin is Indian Tamilian. His origin will be Indian Tamilian. Even though he is a citizen of America, he is an Indian origin. So he is called as Indo-American. Right? So that way, the origin means that is the thing. From where it starts originating. If I take my example, I am the origin from Tamil Nadu. Though I am born, brought up, educated, everything in Karnataka, in Bangalore and Mysore, but my origin is Tamil Nadu. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Right. Origin means where did our ancestors belong to? That's what the origin is. Any doubts in explaining these type of charts, please? Because after undergoing the grammar and other things, means after learning the grammar and other things, these things will be given to you for practice as assignments. You will have to write and submit it in the Google Classroom. I will send the assignments in the classroom. Every day you will have to see the assignments in the classroom and send it back within the given time. There will be a time slot given for that. Right? Okay, if you have any doubt or if you want any clarifications, please do make a note of it and you can ask me at the end of the session. Is that fine?
Okay, sir.
Okay, great kiddos. Fantastic. Now, this type of visual vertical is called as the tables. You can see it in the tabular form, isn't it? You can see everything in the tabular form. Here, what is the thing? On top of the world, government taxation. That means it. Chandrakala, you are talking, but you are muted. You are talking to me or to someone else? Chandrakala, you are muted. You are talking something. Were you talking to me or to someone else?
No, sir. My brother was asking some doubt in maths, sir.
Okay, fine. Great. No issues. Done. So here the topic is, it's not the on top of the world. What would be the topic here? The government taxation during the year 2007 is the topic. So on top of the world, which country was on top of the world during 2007 in the taxation or in collecting the tax? That is what the meaning here is. So here they are given the total categories, then the advanced, how did the different countries advance in their economics, right? So here they have given an acronym BRICS, that is BRIC. BRIC is Brazil, Russia, India and China. B stands for Brazil, R stands for Russia, I stands for India and C for China. But here, just to make you get confused, they have made it as BCIR. That's it. Just they want you to get the students get confused. Okay. So these are the different countries. What all the means they collected the tax and what was the increment or decrement in that? Those figures have been given. You have to explain and compare these things. Then comes the maps and plans. This should be mostly for generic category. Which one? The tables and the maps and plans would be mostly given for generic category and very feebly would be asked for the academic category. So here, what happens is that this is the map during 2012 and this is the map of 2015 of a particular country, and what is the existing now, their plans. Just a second, please excuse me. Right. So this is the plan of those countries. What was proposed during the plan and what is existing. Existing means present. Proposed is the plan. Okay. So you have to describe all these things looking at the figures. And for example, if you say they had proposed, okay, moving lanes, 14 moving lanes for four-wheelers, 14 moving lanes for heavy traffic vehicles, 12 moving lanes for heavy traffic vehicles and medium traffic vehicles. So different vehicles or different infrastructures they have proposed to implement or bring in to action. But finally, how much they could bring in. As far as the park and other things, greeneries are concerned, there was no improvement. But the major improvement could be seen in the heavy traffic vehicles lane, right? So they had proposed 12, but they have achieved 41. Whereas when it comes to medium and light vehicles, they had proposed 14 each, but they could bring in only 12. So this is how you are going to explain. Then the diagrams. This also would be majorly asked for generic category. These diagrams would also be majorly asked for generic category, very feebly for the academics. But still, never a loss to understand and practice it. So different types of diagrams would be given of different verticals and different charts. You have to explain on these things as per the question, whatever is being asked. That's the reason in the writing skills or reading skills or even listening skills, writing skills, reading skills, and listening skills give more attention towards the instructions that is being given on the paper. You have to just follow the instructions and nothing else. When you put yourself in the shoes of instructions and you just follow it, you are through. There is no difficulty in getting through in the exams. Okay. Then comes the task 2. Task 2 is common for both generic and academics. That is, you have to write essay. So what all the types of essays they could ask? So essays could be, so these things give a personal opinion about contemporary issues. This is what would be given as an instruction in the question. I'll show you the model question papers. I will let you know. I'll give you the practice. Before we get into the actual practice, it is always better to understand and keep these tips in mind. So then, when the question is asked about this type, give a personal opinion about contemporary issue. That means you should give your personal opinion. But that personal opinion should be logical one. If it has to be logical, what you should do? You should give the reasons, the valid reasons for that, and with a realistic example. With a realistic example. How to give the reasons, logic reasons, and how to give the realistic examples, all we will learn when we start practicing the writing skills. And the next type would be of the statement. There will be statement given, two statements. You have to explain about the statement whether you agree or disagree. If you are agreeing, you have to give the reasons and certain examples. One example in each paragraph for agreeing, and in the end, you have to conclude why you agree, or if you disagree with the statement, then also you have to give the reasons why you disagree with the realistic example and conclude the disagreeing statement. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Am I speaking to wall or only my laptop screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm not getting any replies from any of you. Right? Am I going fast?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Is it quite easy for each one of you to understand?
Yes, sir.
All the 10 of you? Right?
Sir.
Okay, great. Then comes the next would be like two sides of an argument. Yesterday I told you what is an argument. Both you will be for and you will be against. That is called as the two sides of an argument. If I say, ki, write the two sides of an argument about the institution of Oxford Educational Institution, or about the engineering colleges, infrastructures about the Oxford Engineering College. You have to write both. You have to discuss, means discuss here is how you will discuss the argument. If you have to say you are for the college also against the college, both that means both the positives and the negatives you have to mention in the discussion. And finally, that means when it comes to the last paragraph, that is the conclusion paragraph, you have to write the opinion. Your opinion can be for or it can be against. You cannot give two opinions. Opinion will be only one. If you strongly believe that all the things are positive and very few negative, then you give the opinion about the stronger side, that is the far side of the college. If you strongly discuss that most of the things are negative and very few are positive, then your opinion should be towards the against side. You got my point?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Then the problems. Problems means not mathematical problems here. Issues, conflicts, jagada. Right? Whenever there would be some problem arising in an organization or in the college, one department is agreeing, the other department is not agreeing. Some students are coming to the classes and blaming the other department's faculty. Some students say, no, all are good. This type of, or there is a strike in the college. There is a chavos in the campus. These sort of problems. So, they would give you a scenery. You have to describe that scenario with the causes. With the causes means why did that scenario exist? Why did the students go on rampage? Or why did the students go on strike? You should give the cause for that. There is the why part of it, and also you should give the solution for it. What could be the best solution to control the students to stay away from rampage or to stay away from strike? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Others, for others, is it not clear? Okay. Then, so there will be how the assessment criteria goes. There will be 4 criteria for each assessment, right? So 25% into 4, it becomes 100%. The task achievement is called as the task 1. Task 1 is what? Either it will be letter writing or it will be a graphical description, right? Have you achieved the task completely? Could you do it? 25% for that. Task 2 also. That is your task 2 is an essay. That is then the coherence and the cohesion. What is coherence and the cohesion? How well you gel the matter, how well you connect the matter while discussing, right? Then the lexical resources. So that is the examples. From where did you get those examples? How you give that? You explain about the lexical resources. Then comes the grammatical range and accuracy. Finally, grammatical range and accuracy, or your writing or your speaking is grammatically correct, and how accurate you are in grammar, right? So always keep it in your mind, make a note of this point. Whichever the point would be given at the last, right? If we see the priority, task, then the coherence, lexical, the last priority is given for grammatical range and accuracy. But technically or logically, the last point always carries the most importance of anything, right? So only if your grammatical range is correct and if you are writing it accurately, if your writing is accurate, only then you can achieve the other 3. So you have to be very attentive when we do the grammatical classes. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Is that any doubt so far? Will hear any doubt about the writing skills
No,
before
sir.
we move further? Before we
No, sir.
understand something else, some other criteria about writing skills, so that you will not get confused. Think for a minute. Everything is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
All of you, or only for Chandrakala should move ahead?
Yes, sir.
For all of you, I am asking, should we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. Beautiful. Nice. Then, what is the task achievement and response? That is equal to task fulfillment. Means how you fulfill the task. That's what is the task achievement. So, and the response. So, what is in the task 1? That is the overview about the task 1. The overview is nothing but the introduction. Means, what are all the points given? What is the data given in the graph or the pictorial? you will write about that. This, say for example, how it goes. This bar graph or this line graph or this pie chart or this multi graph or this map, and this describes about or tells about or gives the information about sale of vehicles in different countries from the year so and so to the year so and so. That is what the overview, that's what the entire picture tells us about. That means you have to give an idea about the or an introduction about the data that is being given on the pic. Then the key features, main points, and data. Again, so here key features and the main points. This becomes the main body. Yesterday I told you, right? Essay or the task one should be written in 3 parts. First part is introduction. Second, main body. The third is conclusion. Okay. So you have to write the key features. Here, key features means what are the features that are given of every country. That is what is the data of each country. Then the main points, that is the further description about that particular country. So based on that, say for example, India, the usage of vehicles in India in the year 2007, it was somewhere around 4 and it was static up to 2009. From 2009 to 2010, we could see a very marginal increase in the sale of vehicles. It could reach somewhere between 5 to 6, and from 2011 onwards, it became static till the end of 2012, where it remained constantly at 7 vehicles. So that is what the main points, how you are going to write about. And the data, final, that is the conclusion. How you conclude. Overall, when we see this graph, it could be easily said that, or it could be easily concluded that so-and-so country had the major profit in the sale of vehicles. Did show the major increment in the sale of vehicles. Which was that country? Can anyone remember? In the graph we saw?
China, sir.
China. Very good, Yaviraj. Beautiful. Nice, good observer. Right? China. So that is how you conclude. That's how you give the data. That should be written in 150 words. Then task 2. Task 2, take position. Means take position here means understand the question, what is being asked, and give a brief introduction about the question that is being asked. Say for example, if they are asking you to write an essay about the students' admission of Oxford Engineering College from the year 2007 to 2012 during the 5 years, or say from 2016 to 2021 in the last 5 years, what is the percentage of admission in the school, and if it is in the hiking path, why it is so, or if it is in the decreasing path, why it is so. Now it is an what type of a essay is this? So this essay would be of argument. So now you have to tell. Now address all the points. Here means that is the main body. Main body, you will address all the points that has been asked, from which year to which year, from which stream to which stream, all these things you will address. Then give examples and reasons if even for both, for increasing the number of students admission every year or decrease in the admissions of students of every year. You have to give the examples and you have to give the reasons, and always stay on the topic, means never move away from the topic. That means what is the topic? It is all about the admission process in the College of Oxford Engineering College or in the Oxford Educational Institution. You should never ever go. You should not compare it from other things. That's what, staying on the topic. All these things should be written in not less than 250 words or minimum 250 words. Does it make sense? Hello, kiddos.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I will also sleep if all of you are sleeping. Shall I? Huh? Okay. So task 1, overview and word count. So how do we write the overview and how the words are counted? All these things we will know about. Overview, as I told you, summaries or gives a general picture of the most relevant visual information. That means you have to explain what are the data given. You have to give a brief introduction about that. For example, the graph below gives information about the technology that households in the United States city used for watching television between 2004 and 2014. If a graph or if some picture is given, so how will you write the overview? From which year it started till which year the thing is given, right? Then this goes the sample questions. How we can take up the writing part or writing exams. Then how will be the word count? How the words are counted? It bears a close and direct relation to the overview. When you start counting the words. Keep awareness about the following. Be aware. Copying or lifting phrases or clauses from the rubric. That means you should not copy the phrases or certain clauses that you Google it out and find it. You should not copy them. Instead, you understand that and write it. Or you have to mention very clearly as the phrase goes in so and so, or as it is said by so and so. You have to mention that. You cannot write. So you cannot do any copying. Then repeating the exact wording of the question. In the introduction, normally what we do is, we are all used to it. Why did Rama kill Ravana? So we pick up the most of the wordings from the question itself. Rama killed Ravana. We start from there and then we start writing the reason. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Normally, the answering pattern in India would be like this. Okay. Why did India lose the World Cup in 2019? So India lost the World Cup in 2019. Then we start because, then we start writing. No, you should not start that like that. So how will you start writing the answer? Ravana was killed. Because then you give all the reasons and at the end it goes, finally he was killed by Rama. Or though India started displaying a very good game strategy in the beginning of the World Cup in 2019, And they won almost all the matches, excepting a couple of them where they lacked so and so quality or so and so things, which was the major reason or which was the major setback for India to lose the World Cup in 2019. Now you understood how to start
Yes, sir.
answering the questions? Is it clear, my dear kiddos? I want answers from everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now put it in the chat box. If you have understood, yes. If you have not understood, no. Let me see how many answers I will get. Mitalaji, can you just count how many answers you get? Okay, Chandrikala, yes. Mahatapati, Ashwini, yes. Only 2. Okay, Manjula, 3. Okay. Only 3 people out of 10. Rather 11.
3.
Only 3. Where are others? Are they there? That I want to know first. Are they physically there or not? The students. Okay, Yuvraj, 4. Okay, Mitali ji,
Yes, sir.
I would give an instruction over here regarding the attendance.
Okay, sir.
Going forward, the number of students answer the questions either by interaction or by putting it in the chat box. Right?
Okay.
And the number of students, those who give the answers for the first question, and the number of students, those give answers for the last question. You take only them, the attendance, not on the things, what you call as a number of participants list, we get it. You give attendance only to them. The last answer is writing the feedback. How many of them give the feedback and how many of them answer the questions. Rest all, though they are logged in, they are absent. Those who are not interacting, those who are not writing the answers, that means they are all absent. They are nowhere here.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
True.
Fantastic.
Jessie ma'am, it's absolutely fine. So Jessie ma'am has texted that being a faculty, she is a silent listener. So it's absolutely fine, ma'am.
No. Jessie, you see, Jessie ma'am, and yesterday one more faculty was there. I just forgot the name. Okay, forget about the faculties. I'm talking about the students.
Yes.
Right? Faculties, they do come and go through, sit through, and do those things because it is their, the college would have given them the responsibility to do so. But as far as the students are concerned, right? Because the college authorities are taking so much pain and spending so much of things for everything, time, effort, money, everything is being invested in the name of the students. And if they are not taking the benefit out of it, then it will become a very sorry state for the institution also. Isn't it? So let us keep a strict vigilance on the attendance part of the students.
Sure,
Okay. So, as I told you in the beginning, the copied words are detracted. Detracted means deleted. They are not attracted. Means they will not take them into count.
So Nandita is having a question, I guess.
Yes, Nandu, Nandita. Yes. Can you please unmute yourself, come on the camera and ask your doubt or the question. Am I audible, Nandu? Nandita? Nandu, Nandita? Am I audible? or someone else has raised the hand on behalf of Nandu Nandita, proxy attendance. Is that so? When I call the attendance, yes sir, raise the hand. Nee? Proxy. If I call Amit, Amit is absent in the class, Yuvraj will say yes sir. Or vice versa. Right? Okay. Copied words are detracted. Detracted means they are not taken into consideration. They will not be counted. That's what the distraction means. That detracted means. As I told you, that is why that plus minus 5% you should keep in mind. You should write somewhere, if it is for 150 words, you should write somewhere between 165 to 175 words. And if it is for 250 words, you should write somewhere between 260 to 275 words. Or 280 words. So that even if you have copied words or if you have repeated the words, then what will happen? Ki your count stays intact, and that gives you the increment in the band. That gives you the band height in the examination. Clear? Right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Great. Thank you so much. Now, let us, as I have already told you, always, especially in writing and speaking, writing and speaking, the more you use the synonyms and the phrases, the more is the chance of getting high band. The more is the chance of getting high band. And the more you know about the synonyms and the phrases, know in the sense just not knowing them, knowing their meaning. What I mean to say here, knowing about the synonyms and the phrases means knowing their meaning and when they are used and under what circumstances the phrases are used. If you understand those things, then you will certainly get a high band even in reading as well as listening. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So synonyms, that means you have to expand your vocabulary strength. That means you should expand the number of words you know. Vocabulary means each word is called as the vocabulary. How many words you know, how many new words you understand, how many new words you bring in into your minds or your brain's dictionary of English. That is what expanding of vocabulary. Then comes you should get exposed to authentic materials. Means to improve your English. Amit,
Yes, sir.
for you this is, right?
Yes, sir.
Read the newspaper articles. Read the newspaper articles or the Economist daily charts, all those things. You read the newspapers. In the newspaper, what you should read, not the first page and the last page. Normally, I do that. I'll read the first page headlines because what has happened about COVID, about Modi, about the state, everything would be there. The last page would be about the sports, who lost, who won in cricket or tennis or football. Then I will tell. I read the paper from first to last. Right? In between, I never open. It should not be like that. So whenever you read the newspaper articles, to improve your vocabulary, to improve your language, always open the center page of the newspaper. That there you find a column as editorial. Please make a note of these things. These tips will certainly improve your language. You should read the editorial column and the editorial articles. right? Especially in that, it helps you for IELTS or TOEFL or PTE. If you, whenever you register for the exams, that time if you concentrate more on this thing, that are economist daily charts. If you understand this, it will be easy for you to explain the graph. Then gap fill exercises. How do you do that? Try to do a lot of fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks, not choose the correct answer. Then consolidation exercises aimed at recycling vocabulary. That means very simple. Consolidation exercises. How will you do? Suppose I will tell you a simple tip how to increase your vocabulary. For these 60 days, from yesterday to till 31st of August or 5th of August, whatsoever may be the number of days, all of you should start writing 3 new words every day in your notebook. Every day it should be 3 new words. And try to find out their meanings and understand their meanings. So at the end of the session, when it gets concluded, you would have come across somewhere around not less than 150 to 200 words. You would have added 150 to 200 words into the dictionary of your brain. You would have enhanced your English language by using 200 words. In the same way, try to write one phrase a day. Only one phrase a day. Every day you should start the day with one new phrase. Okay, for example, I'll tell you. Today, you wish good morning to someone. So tomorrow, normally what we do, every day we say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Right? So how can I change that phrase the next day? How will I wish good morning the next day? So next day morning you say a pleasant morning to all. Third day you write a happy morning to everyone. Fourth day you write a tantalizing morning to everyone. Fifth day you write a pleasurable morning to everyone. So that way you make the phrases every day. So one day, one phrase. I just give you the good morning example. Don't stick there itself. That way you find out certain phrases. One day, one phrase, 3 new words. So that will automatically increase your capability of vocabulary and the synonyms as well. Does that sounds good for all of you? Or difficult? Kaun karta hai yaar itna kaam? Who will do all these things every day? Isn't it? We are not finding time to sleep for 18 hours. And this sir has come and given me extra job now. 18 hours is too less to sleep. Isn't it? Isn't it? Kidus, am I right or wrong? Chandrakala, 18 hours is too less for sleep. Correct? Normally a student should sleep for 24 hours in a day. Rest of the time should study. Correct? I say, Amit?
Sir, again,
Amita?
again, I'm not listening your question.
Huh?
I'm not.
24 घंटे मैंने ये बोला कि एज ए स्टूडेंट 24 hours इज वेरी लेस टू स्लीप. 24 घंटा बहुत कम पड़ता है सोने के लिए.
No, sir.
सो एक बच्चा जो स्टूडेंट है वो क्या करना चाहिए? 24 घंटा सोना चाहिए. बाकी बचा हुआ टाइम में काम करना चाहिए, पढ़ना चाहिए. करेक्ट?
There is no time, no, sir. There are 24 hours only.
There are 24 hours only. Okay. So how much time you want to spend for sleeping?
8 hours, sir.
8 hours.
8. Apre Mahapati, Mathapati Ashwini was very quick in this 8 hours. So from 8 hours, from what time to what time do you sleep? Let me understand that.
10 to 6.
10 to 6. Okay, Chandrakala sleeps from 10 to 6. Every day 10 to 6.
Some days vary, sir.
That's what the great problem with us. Some days vary, it should not vary. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock, every day you should go to bed at 10 o'clock and wake up at 6 o'clock. Whether it is Sunday, Monday, a holiday, or Majge day, Mosri day, yene itruno, 6 o'clock gelbeku. So, when you do that, you can improve your lifestyle. Okay. Then, how the paragraph we should write? What are all there should be there in the paragraph? Right? That is about the task 2 mainly. Because you are going to write an essay. Right? So, the most common problems that most of the students face is about the paragraph. Normally, a paragraph is a paragraph, isn't it? So, what is a paragraph? A paragraph is the one that contains a clause of article, somewhere between 3 to 5 lines. Somewhere between 3 to 5 lines. That means a paragraph should not have less than 3 lines or not beyond 5 to 7 lines. If it is a big paragraph, then it should have 7 lines. If it is a normal paragraph, it should not be more than 5 lines. That's what the paragraph defines. Okay? So you absolutely have to insist on the following. So when you write a paragraph, what are those things you have to insist on? So a paragraph helps the progression. Can someone tell me what is progression? Progression. Very simple word, na? It helps progression. What is the meaning of progression?
सर ये प्रोग्रेस का ही
प्रोग्रेस का ही करेक्ट है. प्रोग्रेस से आया प्रोग्रेशन.
प्रोग्रेस सर उसी का थर्ड फॉर्म. यस सर.
ओके. उसका मीनिंग क्या है? उसका अर्थ क्या निकलता है? Improvement. Improvement means going forward, taking it forward, writing continuously. That's what is progression, isn't it? So it helps in writing you continuously, which is assessed according to the cohesion and coherence. Means which is assessed. Assessed means what? Which is tested, which is examined according to the cohesion and coherence. That means how much connectivity you are bringing in from one word to the another word with respect to the topic what you have started to write with the first word. If I say write an essay about Chandrakala, so when I write Chandrakala is a, so my further word should tell about Chandrakala, or if the thing is about Amit, it should say about Amit. If it is about Meghana, it should say about Megha. If it is about India, it should say about India. If it is about United States, you should talk about United States. That's what, how you connect, how you gel the informations connected with the topic. That's what cohesion and coherence means. Right? All of you are science students?
Yes.
Chemistry padhe honge. Everyone would have studied chemistry in the 10th standard.
Yes, sir.
Who has not studied chemistry in the 10th standard? I don't want to talk. 10th mein. Metric.
10, 12.
10th.
Yes, sir.
At least 10th tak. At least metric tak. up to the SSLC level or up to the 10th standard, how many of you have not studied chemistry? Rasayanik Shastra.
Yes, sir.
है ना? So,
Yes, sir.
during those days only you would have learned about the coherent and covalent bonds. Chemistry में था? Was it there? Covalent bonds and coherent bonds?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It was there. So what is that coherent and covalent bonds? It used to connect
Each other.
the electrons from one cell to the another cell, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That is what cohesion and coherence is. Means you should have the connect about the topic and the line what you are writing. That's what the cohesion. I did pass my 10th standard in the year 1965. I still remember that. And you have passed it in the year 2019 or 18 or 16. Still you don't remember that. Huh? Coherent and covalent bonds. Isn't it? Huh? Great. Okay. Then, lack of examples and reasons. That means we forget to give the examples. And we forget to connect the things. When we give the examples, before giving the examples, we should give the reasons, the logical reasons, why we are agreeing or why we are disagreeing, why I am of this opinion, why I am concluding this, or why I am saying this. That why part we miss. So never miss that. That's why the moment you start giving the reasons and the examples, automatically your band level increases. Then different sides of an argument are not discussed. That means I told you argument. Sometimes what will happen? We will argue only about the far side. We will forget about the against side, or we will argue only about the against side and we may forget about the far side. It should not be done. And when we start writing, we should have a clear plan of it. Then the task 2, possible solutions. What are the solutions for the difficulties that we face? It is always better to have discussion with your friends and peers. Practice debates based on contemporary issue. Then have a group discussion, brainstorming purpose. When you have the group discussion, if there are 10 people, 10 ideas will come. And do discuss pros and cons. Pros and cons means for and against. Benefits and losses. Advantages and disadvantages. This should be followed by some writing practice. After all this thing being done, you should start writing what you discussed, what you brainstormed, all those things you should start write and keep a habit of it. So in the task 1, normally what happens? Past tense and future tenses should be used when we come to grammar, because 80% of any language is past tense. 10 to 15% would be the present tense, hardly 5 to 10% would be future tense. But when we start explaining something, or when we give explanation or brief about the something, then most of the time it would be in the past tense and a very few future tenses. Then the adjectives and the passive voices, you have to be very careful. Don't use the passive voices. Always use the active voices. Then the adjectives and adverbs will add a lot of value to your sentence. That's why adjectives and adverbs, they are called as the ornaments of a sentence. Why do we wear the ornaments? Shirt, coat, tie, rings, watch, right? Bracelet, chain, galame, all these things. Why do we wear? to look more smart or more handsome or to look more beautiful. Right? In the same way, to beautify a sentence, you have to use the proper adjectives and adverbs. Then comparison and the approximation plus contrastive devices. So you should be good at comparing and coming to a consensus. Then the prepositions. Prepositions plays a major role. Without preposition, you cannot connect to the object in a sentence. Then the models, modal verbs, vocabularies for trends and movements. Vocabularies, I already told you how you can improve it. Then the grammars, it improves your impersonal constructions. Then the ID constructions, passive voice, participle clauses, that means it comes to tenses, present tense, past tense, future tense. That is the simple tense, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Then the noun phrases. What are the noun phrases? What are the linking devices? All these things, if we focus, we will be talking about all those things from tomorrow onwards. Don't worry. But your focus to learning should be on all these things. Is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what should we do now further? Thank you all. If you have any questions or queries or any doubts or any clarifications you want, please come forward and ask for it. Anyone? Any doubts? Any clarifications? Any questions with respect to anything? Subject related. Anything beyond the subject after 7 o'clock. Anything subject related or your examination related or education related. Any sort of doubt, any sort of questions, any sort of clarifications you need. You may please come on the camera, unmute yourself and ask. All of you are so silent. That means there are only two reasons now. Either all of you have understood all that I have taught you, or none of you have understood nothing that has been taught today. Which is the possibility here? Option 1 or option 2?
Understood, sir.
Huh? No, I am asking the very clear question about the statement, whether option 1 or option 2.
Option 2.
Option 2, that means none of you have understood anything.
No, sir. Option 1. We have understood everything.
Understood everything. Huh?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
only Ashwini and Chandrakala did so. What about others? Yuvraj, Geeta, Meghala, Nandu, Nandita. Nandu, Nandita, I just want to talk to you. Are you a faculty or a student?
Student, sir.
Student. Abba, pray. I should be thankful to myself. I made you to talk at least. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is your option? Option 1 or option 2?
Option 1, sir.
Option 1. Amit.
1, sir.
Okay. Jyoti. AM. Again, faculty or student?
Student, sir. Understood.
Students are understood. No, I didn't ask you whether you understood or not. I asked you, gave you two options. Option 1, option 2.
Option 1, sir.
Option 1. Okay. Then was this Shantala Shanta. Again, student or faculty?
Student, sir.
Student. Okay, wow. Today I am very much successful in making two kids talk. Beautiful. Okay, Shantala, what is your option? Option 1 or option 2?
Option 1, sir.
Option 1. Great. Meghala, you didn't speak a single word today. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes.
Mangala.
Mangala, right? Okay, sorry, beta. Mangala, okay, what is your answer? Option 1, option 2?
Option 1, sir.
Option 1, okay. Geeta Reddy, student or faculty? Is Geeta Reddy a student or a faculty? So she is not there. Don't know whether she is a faculty or a student. So automatically the option would be option. What would be the option for Geeta Reddy? Okay, who will give the answer on behalf of Geeta Reddy? Proxy answer. Okay, I'll ask Ashwini. Ashwini,
Yes, sir.
okay. What is your option for Geeta Reddy? Option 1 or option 2?
Don't know, sir.
No, just proxy. Let us see. I think she must be your very close friend. That's why you are supporting her. Huh? I don't know,
I
sir.
don't know, sir.
What you don't know? Answer or Geeta Reddy you don't know?
Geeta Reddy, sir.
Geeta Reddy you don't know. Okay. Fine, kiddos. Please do fill up the feedback form. I hope Mithali ma'am would have posted it, the link. I hope. Is it Mithali ma'am? Hello. Mithali ji. Okay, all of you, I think let me check in the chat box if it is there.
Yes, sir. She
Yeah, she has shared it. Okay, can I see how many of you have filled the feedback form? Right? Yes or no in the chat box. Whoever has filled the feedback form, just mention yes or no in the chat box. Mangala, no sir, not yet. Okay. Amit Kumar, yes sir. Yuvraj, yes sir. Mangala, please do fill it, beta. And Nandu, Nandita, no sir. Please do fill it, Nandu. Okay, who else? Ashwini.
Guys, I've
Ashwini.
received only 4 responses. I want everybody's response on
Yeah, only
your
I could
attendance and feedback.
see 3 responses. That is Chandrakala, yes. Amit, yes. And Yuvraj, yes. Okay. Chandrakala has sent it twice. I could see only 3 yes here. And 2 no's.
Jyoti has also responded.
Okay, Jyoti is okay. She has already left. Okay, great.
Yes.
So another 4 students. That is Ashwini. No,
Ashwini is
I am
doing
doing,
good.
sir. Good girl. Good child.
Mangala, please make sure that you will be marking your attendance by filling the form.
Mangala, do it. Fine. Nandu, Nandita, do it. Shantala, Shanta. Mangala, yes, ma'am, doing. Okay, what about you, Shantala? Doing. Good. All are doing. We'll ask ma'am also. Jessie, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So, sorry, I'm just kidding. So, how do you feel the class is going?
My subject is English, sir. So I'm enjoying it.
You're enjoying it. So, please do guide me if I go somewhere wrong,
Definitely, sir.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, if everyone has filled up the feedback attendance form, Okay. Now that forum is open for any generic questions if you want to ask for your personal benefit in your career, for career benefit, where you can be benefited in your career. You can ask. Not career benefits are how should I get married, where should I go to honeymoon and all. What job you are looking for, or what is your intention for going towards the higher studies, which university would be better to take up the higher studies. So is it valid if I do my higher studies in India only, or if I should do it only in the overseas countries, right? Or what job would suit me with this type of skills, these sort of things. Or what is required or what is needed to get into a job, what skills are required or what skills you have to focus on to get into a job, all these things. Okay, how many of you have registered for IELTS on the website, on the IELTS website? Any of you? Or GRE, how many of you have registered? Okay, what is the full form of GRE? Can someone tell me? Good reading English. Is that? Okay. Nobody wants to talk. Okay, shall we call it a day, Mitali ma'am? If you have
Yes, sir.
received all the feedback.
I have received 6 feedbacks.
Okay. So 4 plus 4, 8 are there. Total 10 were there, I believe.
Ashwini has done, Shantala has done. I guess Mangala is yet to submit her feedback. But then,
Okay.
yes, they all are leaving. So I guess they would be filling the feedback.
Right. Great. I think the total there were 10 today, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay then.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
being
sir.
with me.